Assalamu alaikum everyone. So I'll be riding solo from Singapore to Betong, Thailand this Sunday, and I was supposed to be planning to leave at 12 midnight, but now I'm reconsidering to leave at a later time. So I'm planning to wake up sometime at 3 a.m. and then kick off to from home, Singapore, to Geylang Patah, and from there I'll set out by 3:45 to 4 a.m. The main reason is I've been watching a lot of vlogs of riders who have rode from Singapore to Betong or Sadao or Thailand, and they do an all-nighter. While that is it's very good, but it can be quite physically demanding on the body. And one thing I do notice is the fatigue which most of the riders they point out as they approach Thailand. Sometime between 4-5 in the morning, or even after, when they are almost reaching into Thailand in the morning, when the sun is up, the fatigue really comes in. You know they really feel tired, and they find rest stops to try and take a short nap of 20 minutes, 15 minutes, take more rest. So to counter all that, I really feel rest is one very essential thing in preparation of a ride. So I'm now adjusting my schedule on my trip so that I would get enough rest. I would pack ahead in time, I would plan everything ahead, and I would try to go and sleep by 8 p.m. and really get a good proper rest. So this way I can kick off from Singapore and I can ride to Thailand, and I would not really feel the fatigueness. More than that, even when I check in, I can still go and sightsee to the places I've already pinpointed in my map, and that would be very good because I'll know I'll not be wasting more time or trying to find time where I would need to catch up on rest. Because to me, is if you're going to leave 2 or 3 hours earlier, you're still going to try and find that time between like check-in of 2 p.m. to about 4:30 p.m. to try and get sleep when you check in. So I'm adjusting my plan now to leave by 3:45, 4 from GP, and I'll wake up at 3 a.m. So why ride solo to Betong and not in a group? I've always done solo riding for quite a bit of time, and while I have done group riding, I found something different about solo riding. It's just that sense of you navigating around, knowing that you don't have to be dependent on someone to tell you where you should go or which rest stop you should take right now. You command it by yourself. You judge yourself through your own level of energy, and I think that's beautiful. And you also don't have to worry about whether you would like to stop here just to snap a picture, or just to take a break, or just maybe you found something very interesting which wasn't part of your itinerary, but you want to inbuild that right now because you thought it's something interesting and you never know you'd come back there. So you can plan your route, you can tailor your route. So I think that's the fun thing. Why Betong? I've never rode to Betong before. I've never been to Betong as well. So I've traveled to Thailand via Sadao border a number of times, but never through the Betong, the Betong border. So that is one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to that. So as part of my preparation for my Betong trip this Sunday on 23rd, I have also bought an eSIM, because I do understand that while you might have your mobile carrier might have the roaming ability, but I heard it and read that it might not be so strong, so I just don't want to take any chances, especially when I'm going to be relying on a map and I'm be riding solo. So I've bought an eSIM, and I think that's very handy. You can get that from Shopee, and I'll paste the link down on my description. And I think it's not very expensive. It's just a few dollars, like about $6 or $7. You can get a eSIM and unlimited as well data. I've also bought myself recently. I've never been convinced to buy a electric air pump for all this while, because I always thought, you know, at every gas station where I'm going to fill petrol, I might as well just check my pressure, and like, it's not that often you're going to be putting air in your tires, right? But nonetheless, in any case where there's a breakdown, or you know, you never know, right, what could happen. So I have bought a Xiaomi air pump, which I managed to get a good deal out from Carousel. There was this guy who was got it as a gift, and it's brand new and he wasn't using it, so I got it for $30 for a brand new one and tested it all out. Really looks good, so I think that was a good buy. Yeah, so as for the documentation, which a lot of riders who, whether they are traveling to Thailand on bikes for the first time, or they have actually traveled. So as a solo rider, right, these are the documentation you would need. Firstly, you can log into OneMotoring and get yourselves a lock card, to print the lock card, to print your vehicle lock card. So it's good that you can print it as near to the date you are going to be entering and traveling. So get yourself a lock card, print out of the lock card. I would recommend if you can print 2 copies just in case, and then you would need to go and get insurance, Thai insurance, so that's mandatory. So I'll leave it in the description whom I contacted, and it's very easy. You can just WhatsApp them and they will prepare everything and even send it, the PDF, to you through WhatsApp. So it's very easy. It's just 59 ringgit. I got the basic insurance. Of course, they have the premium cover as well. So I got the I got the basic insurance, as well as they prepared for me. For solo rider, you only need the TM2 form. So the TM2 form is basically an import and an export. It's the information of conveyance for you to import your bike and export your bike back. That's all you'll need. So three documents: your vehicle lock card, the Thai insurance, as well as the TM2 form. The TM3 form, which most people you hear about speaking, is for the passenger list. So since you're a solo rider, you won't need a TM3 form. So there's nothing to worry about that. So yeah, basically just that's all. There are some people who do recommend getting a certified true copy, but I've been to Thailand, and I've recently contacted someone who just went to Betong, especially just last week, and he mentioned we don't need to they don't require you to have a certified true copy. As long as you have a vehicle, a lock card, it's fine. Yeah, and yeah, so two more things I would like to touch on is the fact is bike preparation. So as much as bike preparation goes, you know, people talk of ensuring your tires are changed out. If you can change to a fresh set of tires. I personally, I never like changing a fresh set of tires and then straight away going out for the tour, because I'd like to break in the tires a little so that, you know, I know what sort of grip I have, and I've already kind of like rode with those tires for a couple of 100 kilometers. So that is one. Tires are very important. Brake pads, second very important thing, because that's really something you need to ensure for safety. Putting in the correct tire pressure is also as important as, you know, having good tires on. Ensure your coolant levels are, you know, proper. Your battery is sufficient, is good, it's charged. You know, try to get to a shop, an inspection shop, to check your rectifier, check the voltage of your battery, the charging of your battery. All these things are very important. Check all your lights, your signal lights, your tail lights, your brake lights. All this is also very important, because you might be riding stretches where there are no lights. There are roads where for miles you might not have contact to people or near towns. While you get your brake pads checked and check your brake fluid, and if you need to do bleeding, get that done. One very important thing which most people overlook is loose bolts, and that is really what can cause a big turnaround in the trip. So ensure that, you know, be it just like a mirror and the nut is maybe missing one nut, or, you know, the bolt is slightly not fastened enough, all that, get that inspected. Try to go to a service shop and tell them, no matter whether they have to take a bit longer to hold your bike for a day or two, but ensure to just walk through all the nuts, the bolts, ensure everything is tightened and secure, because that makes a nice tight and, you know, a bike which has good feel to it. Yeah, of course there are other things like ensure your mounting, where your luggages are mounted, all are properly, very tightly secured, and, you know, nothing is loose, because even a small thing coming out at a high speed, you can have significant impact to feel it. Yeah, other things I want to touch on is, of course, there are other things people like to do, like the engine, the throttle engine cleaning, injector cleaning. You've got things like valve clearance, all this. That's a bit more heavier work to be done, but if you feel more comfortable to get those done, and if your bike is fairly new, then you don't have to. So it's up to you. So another component is your fuel strategy. So a lot of people really keep going by the basis of of their bike, oh, my bike has a tank capacity of 10.5 liters or 17 liters or 18 liters or whatnot, and I can do at that speed. The range or the efficiency would give me, maybe something like 15 kilometers per liter, and that would give me a certain range. But more than that, I feel with me touring, sometimes it's really not about the range, because I feel I could be pitting at a stop and I don't have to be down 1 bar or even to just down to a reserve tank. It's about yourself, your energy capacity, your energy level. Sometimes it's not that the bike needs the rest stop for fuel, but you need to fuel up. So that is very important, and that's one thing I think most people or tourists, they overlook, and I think it's very important that they be looking at more. And that's one thing in my earlier video I proposed about me taking a different turn of bringing a water bag with some electrolytes tablets in the water, because I could be then sipping as I go along the way. So I could pull my range but yet not also feel fatigued, because I'm basically tailoring my energy level to match that of the fuel strategy which I originally planned off. And yeah, in such a tour, although you have some of y'all meticulously plan, certain stops, certain places y'all would love to visit, or certain targets of places you want to be at which time, like, oh, I need to check in at like 1:45 so that by 2, I have enough time, I can just immediately check in, that sort of thing. Like, you kind of like don't overdo it. What I mean is, because if you plan it that way, sometimes you are pushing yourself, you're pushing your limit, you're pushing the bike's limit. So perhaps you could have 100 kilometers to a certain location, but you're pushing yourself and the bike just to reach that target. Don't do it. You are out for a tour, you're not out for a race ride. So pace yourself, enjoy the journey. Sometimes the journey is more enjoyed when you take it as it comes, at the pace. Of course, there's certain places where you can push, straight roads, highways, but when it comes to smaller roads, soak in the atmosphere. If you feel you see something along the way you want to stop, enjoy. Just stop, take a picture, take 5 minutes, breathe, soak in that atmosphere, So these are just a little bit of stuff which I've personally reflected and learned as I started touring. I remember my very first far touring experience was in my Super 4, and I had traveled up to Cameron Highlands, and it was one of the most memorable trips up till today, because I met a lot of people along the way, a lot of friendly people, be it at Cameron Highlands, along the way, bikers, riders, and it just added to the memory which I'm going to be bringing and for myself for the rest of my life. So if it's your first experience, don't kind of like shut it out and throw yourself too much, enjoy it, take it easy, and it'll be something you talk for many years to come. So with that, I thank you for tuning in for these humble videos. I apologize if the video consistency is not good. I'm still working on that, and stay tuned for the ride from Singapore to Betong, 23rd August at 4 a.m. We are setting off. For those who are watching, and if y'all have some capacity to come and send me out, I'd be most happy. Ciao.